Hello YouTube, my name is Isabella and today I'm going to be filming a very exciting video, at least for me, and it is my most anticipated 2018 releases. Now this isn't a complete list because there are a ton of books that I know that are going to be super anticipated for myself personally, but they haven't been announced yet. I mean, The Muse of Nightmares, which is the sequel to Strange the Dreamer, hasn't been announced yet. You can bet yourself if that book comes out in 2018, it is my most anticipated release. However, today I'm going to be talking about the books that have been announced and have release dates. But because publishing is kind of up in the air and whatnot, release dates are always subject to change. So these are the release dates for what I believe are Canada/the USA as of me recording this video today. So the first book I am anticipating is Batman Nightwalker by Marie Lu. I read Wonder Woman by Leigh Bardugo and I really liked it, so it's made me very excited for the rest of these superhero books. From what I read from the synopsis, I think like Gotham's elite are being murdered, so he has to team up with this girl who either works in Arkham or is in Arkham, the insane asylum, and they have to work together, an unlikely duo, to kind of stop all these murders from happening. The next one is Everless by Sarah Holland. Now this book has been getting a lot of hype recently. I've been seeing it a lot on book Twitter and the synopsis has me very intrigued. I don't know too much about this book other than the fact that in this fantastical world, time is actually their currency. When you run out of time, you die. Very much like the Justin Timberlake movie called In Time, which I actually really enjoyed years ago. And so our protagonist has to go into like the capital or something because her father is super low on time and he is in trouble and could possibly die. But then I believe she kind of gets wrapped up in like court stuff and their dark secrets, as typical fantasies go, but this one has had me intrigued and I've had my eye on it for a little while. Another book that is also coming out January 2nd is Meet Cute, I believe edited by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This one is an anthology of just meet cutes, and there are a couple of authors that I'm really looking forward to reading from. Julie Murphy, Meredith Russo, Danielle Clayton, which I haven't read from but I really do want to read from, are all involved. I think possibly Nicola Yoon as well, so I've heard pretty good early buzz from it, and I believe that these stories are a lot more diverse than what other anthologies have been like, so I'm looking forward to that. Another book I'm excited for is Zenith by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. If you've been on BookTube at all, you know that this book is coming out. Sasha is one of the biggest booktubers on this platform, and I am excited for their book. I don't know the synopsis other than the fact that it is a sci-fi space opera and a female-led crew, and I'm very excited for this release. It's coming out on the 16th, I don't remember if I said, and I'm actually going to meet them. They're going to be in Toronto. Another one I'm very excited for is Wires and Nerve Volume 2 by Marissa Meyer. The first graphic novel came out last year and it was a huge surprise to me, and it is the conclusion to this kind of duology graphic novel series, whatever you want to call it. The first book takes place after the Lunar Chronicles and it follows Aiko, my favorite character from that series, and it was a really huge surprise for me, so I'm very happily anticipating its sequel, and I'm a little sad that it's only going to be 2, but I'd rather that than it be drawn out. This next book I'm beyond excited for, and it is The Bells by Danielle Clayton. I haven't read anything by her. She actually co-wrote the Tiny Pretty Things duology, which is a duology I own and I really want to get. I've heard nothing but great things about this book, and I'm even more excited to support it and read it, especially what's been going on lately with book Twitter. Danielle has been working so hard to make sure that diverse stories are being published, and I really admire her for how hard she worked. This book, I believe, is a fantasy in which beauty is a commodity. From what I understand, you're kind of born like this gray blob, and a belle actually kind of shapes and forms you and makes you look, I guess, beautiful. So being a belle is very, very, very important to the society, and our main character is desperate to be like the best Belle. She wants to go work in the castle and work for the queen. I believe this story tackles a lot of topics such as privilege and things along those lines, and I'm really excited to see that tackled in a fantasy story. It sounds great. I'm so excited for this. Another book I am excited for is All Out, edited by Sandra Mitchell. This is an anthology that takes place over time, space, and everywhere, and it's all about queer characters, and it's a bunch of YA authors take on queer characters all over the spectrum. The cover is stunning. Oh my god, I love it. The next book on my list is also an anthology, and it's called Bygone Badass Broads by Mackenzie Lee. Mackenzie Lee wrote The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, which I haven't read yet, but I've been meaning to. This book is actually based off of a Twitter series that Mackenzie Lee had talking about historical female figures who had a very big impact on history but are forgotten. And it's really short. I think it's like under 200 pages. And this one just sounds so fun, and I love that it's going to be super quick. This next book I've been wanting to read ever since anyone started talking about it, and that was so long ago on Twitter, and it was Tyler Johnson Was Here by J. Coles. From what I understand, it is about Marvin, who decides to go to a party with his brother to keep an eye on him. At this party, the police are called, and Marvin's twin brother, Tyler, is actually shot and murdered. It follows Marvin's grief and his anger and just him dealing with the consequences of his brother's death, and he also really unpacks what it's like to have like your brother become a hashtag. I love this cover. This one I know I'm definitely picking up the second it comes out. Another book I'm really anticipating is Arusha and the End of Time by Roshni Chokshi. I finally discovered how to say her last name. It's been so long. But I have not read any of her books. She's written The Star-Touched Queen and A Crown of Wishes. Both books are ones that I own and have wanted to read for a long time. But this is like a Rick Riordan Presents novel, so it's kind of published through, not through him, but through his little, I don't know, division, but it is Roshni's take on Hindu mythology in our world right now, and I'm just so excited for it. I watched her in the little video of her talking about this book, and I'm so excited for it. I love mythology, and I know very, very little about Hindu mythology, so I'm so excited to learn. I read both of Becky's books this year, and I actually went to meet her, and she's such a sweet person. And Leah on the Offbeat is actually a Simon companion / sequel. From what I understand, it deals with Leah coming to terms with the fact that she is bisexual, and she's also a fat MC, and look at this cover. It's just, oh my god, I love this cover. Should be a drinking game. How many times I've said excited for this game. I do apologize though. This book, the release date was just announced a little while ago, and it is On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. This is her highly anticipated sequel, and I actually don't know the synopsis of it whatsoever. Angie literally took over the young adult world this year, and I'm so excited for her and the sequel. I thought The Hate U Give was so good and so important, and I'm so excited. I also really want to read Smoke in the Sun by Renee Audier. This is a sequel to Flame in the Mist, a book I really enjoyed and was a total surprise for me this year. I've actually now read all of Renee Audier's published works, and I've enjoyed every single one. I think I've given them all 4 stars. The first book, Flame in the Mist, follows Mariko, not entirely sure how to say her name, who, when she's on her way to like the palace to be married, her caravan is attacked and she's nearly killed. And instead of trying to escape home or go to the palace, she decides to infiltrate this clan that attempted to kill her and discover why. This book discussed a lot about gender roles, and I really enjoyed this story. It wasn't perfect by any means, but I'm very excited for this one. I also really want to read From Twinkle with Love by Cyndia Menon. Cyndia wrote When Dimple Met Rishi, which was a book I so very much enjoyed, and I'm highly anticipating her next one. This is not the companion book for Dimple. That one should be coming out next year, but this one follows Twinkle, who's like an amateur filmmaker, and she is offered the chance to direct a movie for like a summer program thing, and she's very excited for the opportunity, not only because she loves films, but she's in love with this boy, and she actually ends up working with the boy's twin brother, but she kind of starts to end up having feelings for the brother. I thought When Dimple Met Rishi was such a cute romance, and I expect nothing less. Another book I'm dying to get my hands on is What If It's Us by Adam Silvera and Becky Albertalli. So I haven't read anything by Adam Silvera yet, which is a travesty, but I plan to rectify that before this book comes out, and I know that his books are supposed to be very, very sad and have interesting concepts, and Becky's book I think are great, and I think it will be a really interesting and good combination, and they're great friends, so I can't imagine that they'd put out anything bad. And my final book on this list today is one of my most anticipated, and I'm so thrilled that it will be coming out this year, and that is Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. This book wasn't supposed to come out till like mid-2019, and I'm so glad we're getting the conclusion to this trilogy before another trilogy is started. I will say, do not read the synopsis of this book if you are not caught up in the Shadowhunter world. You will be spoiled for just about everything. I'm just so thrilled that we're getting the conclusion, and I'm really excited to see where she picks up from Lord of Shadows, because it left on such a cliffhanger, and I need to know how the series is going to end. I really like the themes that Claire has been exploring in these books. I find that these ones are a little bit more mature than her two other series, and yeah, I'm very, very excited for the sequel. So those are my most anticipated releases of 2018 that I know of, because again, there are a lot of books that I wanted to include on here, but they don't have any sort of release dates, and they're just kind of rumored to be put out in 2018, so I didn't want to put these on my list. But I'd like to know of any of your most anticipated books of 2018, especially ones that I don't have on this list. I hope this video wasn't too long, but I appreciate you for watching it, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!